definitely a creative release.
Yeah, so like even with that process, like you want to expound on that, like you had to get to a point where you felt okay with working on other people's cars and not just yours. So like expound on that process, like because he was talking about how like he went to different, he has a trusted circle, whereas yours is not so much. You got a trusted circle, you just kind of gotta tweak the car and then hope that everybody.
Man, it's irrational confidence. That's all it is. Like, I mean, I think for me in that space, because I've basically been doing that type of thing my whole life, like I literally have like 30 plus years of experience doing things with my hands on cars.
Wow.
So as a 38-year-old dude, so it's kind of like,
I got a transmission leak right now in that old school truck.
Need to holler at him.
That's crazy.
He fixed everything on my car.
So
wow.
So it's kind of like one of them things, like what you need your 10,000 hours to be a master.
Yes, for sure.
So it's like that's been long gone for me.
And
just doing this.
You
stuff.
got a passion for it.
Yeah. So and it comes from that, and then I think for me it's easily transferable over into doing things for other people's stuff. I mean, there was a situation when I ain't gonna say situation, but I was in high school, I think. And this dude, my mom and dad ran the dry cleaners, and my dad passed. My mom ran it by herself. But this dude who was an old customer there for a long time came to my mom and was like, yeah, I need this transmission, something to change out in this car. Anybody can fix it. And my mom, being my mom, well, Justin could do it. Like, I'm like, I ain't never done no jack. Like, I ain't worked on nobody's Camry. I ain't never took out no kind of transactional transmission. But because I had done it in other spaces and on other things, I was like, why not? It's still a machine. You can take it. If you can put it together, you can take it apart. That's always my motto. And so I took out this whole dude's transmission, his car, and his front driveway and stuff over the course of a weekend and put it back. And I told him afterwards, he paid me. It was like $800 or something like that.
Yeah, you took a transmission.
But I was like in high school. That was like big money. Like it's really a much bigger job than that. But I was like, yeah, man. It was like, would you believe me if I told you I'd never done this before?
Wow.
So it's kind of like it's a mentality.
Yeah,
it's kind of a Mamba mentality.
But I also would say when you're in your true element, people around you will notice it. And then they will like, all right, man, we're gonna throw you to the wolves.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. His mama was like, I know he can do this.
Yeah, like for me, the podcast thing, I mentioned it to Ariel. You know this. I mentioned it to Ariel, but then I kept bouncing it back and forth until one day she was like,
hawing, that's what I call it.
So one day she was just like, here go the mics, here go everything. Go make the podcast. And it's like, I have no more excuses.
Yeah.
And then it was, I kept recording and not putting anything out until somebody, I don't know if it was Wayne, I don't know if it was Ariel, I don't know who it was just like, all right, we need to, episode 1's coming out on this day. And so
I gotta have people like that.
Yeah.
If I don't,
me too.
I'm gonna
I have to have people that call me and go, excuse my language, you fucking around.
Yeah,
you
bro.
bullshitting.
Yes, bro.
You need to.
And they not playing.
Yeah, and it's when
like, they say it,
and they get pissed that you're not doing it.
That's how my woman did me. That's why y'all saw a release 2 years ago.
Yeah, for me, it's my homeboy Lance, because Lance is always like,
Lance.
Why are you?
Where Lance been?
Lance, it's a whole nother subject. But Lance has always been like, pun intended, Klark. But he been like, Mike, you keep walking around here like you Klark Kint, but you Superman. And so it's always people like that make me like take me out of my element and say, hey man, get used to being uncomfortable and be vulnerable because you have something here. So I found that very, very, very very dope. What's up to all the thinkers out there? This is your host of Different Thought Podcast, Mike Hayes. Man, we want to tell you guys to just go out, subscribe, and like, and provide us some comments. Let us know what you think about this episode and other episodes on our show of Different Thought Podcast.